Deary me, people, what a week. What a week. Absolutely not saluted week in bodybuilding, is it? Take a look at the date. Merely 4 days ago, a huge event that never happened in the history of this pageant, bodybuilding. The Mr. Olympia title holder, Sean Roden, accused and charged actually of with rape, which is a huge crime down there in the US. I think the bound was set to just shy of $1 million, 750 G's, right? So crazy amount. And he was let down, obviously, by Miss Olympia, thrown under the bus, in my opinion, right? So it's a big hit to this bodybuilding, institution, which is already quite fragile. I mean, he is a newly crowned bodybuilding. He was supposed to usher a new era of aesthetics, right? Granted, this picture does not do him justice, but he is, some sort of a streamlined bodybuilder as opposed to his predecessor, Phil Heath, who was definitely not slim stream, so to speak. Anyway, so this happened, and well, it's not the only thing. Next thing you know, this weekend, there was the Vancouver Pro in my country, mind you, and today and yesterday, supposedly there is a shitstorm between these two guys, namely the Persian Hadi Choopan, who won deservedly so, the show, and the runner-up Nathan Diasha. Nathan actually back in the day, he took the advice of going to Kuwait, so he went to Kuwait. Right now, I think he's no longer in Kuwait and he's not winning. Anyway, supposedly Nathan, this guy is saying that Hadi has some oil, his gains are oil, right? Do I believe that? In my opinion, no. I think his gains are absolutely loyal. You can call them kebab kobide all day, every day. But the thing is, everybody was saying, mashallah, ya Ali, ya Hussein. That's the trick right there. Anyway, I think he deserved to win. As a matter of fact, I had Lucas, this guy right here, second. He was absolutely diced to the socks out of the box. For me, it was between these two, Hadi and Lucas, the smaller guys. The thing is, Lucas was somehow penalized by the structure, but the muscle itself, it was proper. I think he was even harder and more granity, especially from the back, compared to even Hadi, right? So that's that. So that's another shitstorm in the same week. Next thing you know, today, there is a feud between these two. Now, Bonac, I think I know a thing or two about Bonac being angry, all right? And today he's angry not against me, but against his ex-trainer now, the Brit, right? Neil Yoda. And Yoda just released a lengthy video of half an hour. I did not watch it fully, but you guys told me what's up. Supposedly he answered to every point that Bonac made. By the way, Bonac video is on my channel. I just published it. So long story short, Bonac said that Yoda was taking too much money from him, 40% of his paycheck plus bonuses, and then he went on. He was not happy. He showed the conditions where he lives, his apartment, that he calls it quote-unquote shitty house, and then he lives with 3 kids, or 3 kids to be, because I think his wife is pregnant with number 3, and he's dissatisfied with that, and he goes with the F word, and he literally insults him, and I don't need a coach, and this is like a top 3 guy, right, guys? So it's not joyful up there in the top ranks of the IFBB, right? Needless to say. So it's not the joy right now, and they don't need this shitstorm after shitstorm in merely 1 week. There's a proper crisis. Bonac, dear me, I could make a joke and tell you go ahead to Kuwait over there. Anabolic chicken is like a free buffet all day. Eat all you want, bro. All day, every day, daily, brother, for free, right? But bodybuilding authorities like the summit, you need to understand there is IFBB and there's Mr. Olympia. Both of them want glamour. They want something grand to represent the image. They don't want to see your shitty house, you portraying basically a poor person that has a shitty house with nothing. You're a top 3 guy and you're showing us this image, so people will think, why would I be an idol? Why would I be a fan of these idols who are poor? But case in point, I made videos about 4 or 5 years ago when I told you about the truth about these guys. I mean, let's be honest, most of them are not crazy rich. We're talking about top 6 in the world here. And Bonac, I mean, he's top, I don't know, like top 6 since few years, right? So this is Jay Cutler. They want to see him next to, back then, this was the M6, right? It was a top dog of the Beamers back in the day. A Rolls Royce, a roller for good measure, always smiling, portraying something happy, somebody who is successful. Same goes, Ronnie Coleman, a Porsche for good measure. Look at that mansion, absolutely saluted. And why not? A roller too. They love rollers, these guys, don't they? They absolutely do, right? Even Phil Heath, look at that. He gets a Benz, right? He got a Bentley, you got an Escalade, right? Like a song, Bentley, I got Lamborghini doors on that Escalade, low pro so low like I'm riding blades. They love this kind of songs. They don't love this kind of other songs like Bubble Bubble, Bubble Bubble, Trouble, Quadruple Gut Bonanza. Drop it down like a belly dancer. Hey boy, drop it down. Let me see that touch the ground. We have a Bubble Gut Bonanza. Drop it down like a belly dancer. For the youngsters who don't recall, this was Phil Heath here sending me a message to me after he won Mr. Olympia in a controversial manner. It was a proper shitstorm, and up there they don't like shitstorm. And well, somehow yours truly was involved back then. I was young back then, but that's that. And supposedly, I just heard that Phil Heath probably did not even sign the Mr. Olympia contract for this year. So will he reclaim his title? I don't know. God bless you, Phil. But that's that. So all overall, it's not joyful these days up there, right? Do people want to see Phil Heath reclaiming his title? You tell me. I don't know, right? I think it's gonna be one of these two guys. Now, I just sent a message to Kai Green, right? Now, if you know a thing or two about Kai Green, and I met the guy, and I was talking to the guy, I still have my chat open with him when he sent me messages. And God bless you. You need to be on some proper pre-workout to fathom the very meaning or meanings of his text. I got Kai, I don't comprehend you. Sometimes I go to the gym and post-workout I try to read your messages. They're quite enigmatic for me. I'm sorry. I'm just a mere human. You are on different level plane, different realm, right? So I sent him a message. Some other people want him to compete to try to quote unquote save bodybuilding. Will he say yes? We don't know. That's why there is that guy in the background, Brandon Curry, who took the lesson. He went to Kuwait actually. He's very successful. I think it's his best year by far. Incidentally, he blew up into a scene back in the day. I think it was the same year as Phil Heath. Both were rookies, right? And Phil Heath went to a successful win. Obviously, he won 2 pro shows, and then he took a break for like 2 or 3 years. He came back and had a 7-win spree of Mr. Olympia, so he was very, very successful. Brandon Curry, no, he was a late bloomer, obviously. He had a proper walk in the desert, and then he went to Kuwait, and right now he's doing good. So one of these two guys will be, in theory, next Mr. Olympia. Why? Big Ramy, frankly, I don't see him there, right? Although I have no news about him lately. Did he progress? I mean, he was like the Messiah being awaited, but I'm sorry. I mean, there was no news from him. And Dexter Jackson is getting old. We all say it since a while, but yeah, he's still human, right? I mean, lately he has slowed down. So I think it's going to be the year of either Brandon Curry, who is very charismatic, not a feud guy, never had an issue with nobody. You can go back to Twitter, to Facebook, to Instagram posts. You would never see a controversy about Brandon Curry. Not a single one. When I met him in Kuwait, dude, he was just a chill back dude. We were like the two only guys speaking in English. Very gentle, very calm, a proper gentleman. Kai Green, big mystery. Big mystery. It's like, come. They will invite him without qualification, but until the last day, he will be an enigma. So do not count on Kai Green. So even if he sent me a text or he answers a friend of mine, it will be in a proper enigmatic way. But that's that. God bless you. Obviously, it was an on-the-go video from myself because it was a special week. For me, it was because of Sean Roden really hit home, and what's happened to him is very dramatic. It transcends bodybuilding. It transcends bodybuilding. I mean, even if you're not a big fan of bodybuilding, it should definitely concern you because it is a sign of our time what's happening to Mr. Sean Roden, right? It is absolutely dramatic. Talking of which, I mean, Sean Roden and Brandon Curry, probably they're the two gentle guys in the top 10 body of IFBB. Never had an issue with nobody. Never had a feud. I mean, the most we've seen from Sean Roden is looking at Phil Heath last year when it was when they were about to hit the abs and thigh. I was looking at him like, what now? What now? Let's hit abs and thigh. This would be the deal sealer. And obviously he was correct. He won his Mr. Olympia, deservedly so, which he lost by now, which is a tragedy. So that's that, boys and girls. God bless you. Be absolutely saluted. And tell me what you think about all this shitstorm. And for the record, just before letting you go, Neil Yoda is somehow supposedly saying that Bonac blows his money in some other substances, baby please, which are absolutely not saluted. They happen to be green, supposedly, talking about Kai Green. And he says that he never takes 40% of his paycheck, supposedly. So that's what I've heard about that post. So all for all, it's not a good week for bodybuilding. They want to project an idea, an image of something grand, something magnificent, something eventful, right? Something that always has glamour into it, something that glitters. They don't want to send a depressing image of a dude who lives in an apartment that he calls shitty house with, clothes all over the floor, and you see kids' playground here in the same room where he sleeps. It's just not saluted. It was just sad. So God bless them all. I mean, hopefully, Bonac fixes his issues. And hell, back in the day, Dorian Yates was the greatest of his time. Last time I checked, he did not have a coach. That was not a thing called guru back in Lee Haney day, or actually Dorian Yates day. It started as of late, those kind of gurus, right? It never existed before. So that's that, boys and girls. Be absolutely saluted and tell me what you think about this mild video. It was a proper one, it really was.